Hey guys, it's Damien, and tomorrow I hit 9 months on T already. I'm just making this video now because I have a full day of work tomorrow, and also I have to go straight to my masculine support group right after that. So I'm not gonna be able to find the time to make this video, so I decided to do it a little in advance. So it's June 7th, 2000. Wait, what? I meant to say July 7th, 2015. It's 3:39 p.m. and I'm just sitting here contemplating. I didn't have work yet this week. I start Wednesday, tomorrow. I've already been at work for about almost a month now, and it's pretty good. It's just some of the customers are a little hard to deal with, is the best way I can put it without using specific choice words. But it's alright. I've only been doing one job, which was greeting the customer at Chipotle. Like I told you, I'm working there now. It's nice. I have cute little uniforms. Nobody seems to know that I'm trans, and I'd like to keep it that way. I could be out everywhere else, but not at work. So yeah, work has been okay. I just got my first pay, so I'm starting to like support queer business with that money while also paying my own bills. And just today, like a few hours ago, I just signed up for personal training, so that should be helpful, assuming the guy's any good. So I've been trying to work out consistently. That's been helping with my muscle. My muscle feels harder, not necessarily bigger, because despite what you might see on Instagram, you don't get muscle like this unless you've been training for years before T already. And it's just a matter of muscle memory and depends how your genetics are and all that. So I'm going to be building muscle. It's just going to be at a very slow rate. Anyways, physical changes. Like I said, they're slowing down, but the most prominent one being is facial hair. If I want to stay clean shaven, I would have to shave every 5 days, and I just had to like upgrade my Dollar Shave Club razor from Humble Twin, the 2-blade one, to the whatever that's called, the 4-blade. I forget what it's called, executive or something, or I don't know. But it's the 4-blade one because the small one doesn't really cut it anymore because every stroke it like clogs and I have to like keep cleaning it every stroke. It's just like wow. My facial hair has gotten to the point where it's actually pretty thick. It's if I this is just like a week's worth of growth. So I just shaved like last Friday and I started having like no actually I started to shave like 2 Fridays ago, and I started having like this kind of growth by Wednesday. So hopefully I'll be getting to the goal of shaving every day while I have a 5 o'clock shadow like a few hours after I shave. That seems to be my dad's thing, so it might be for me. Other changes, I'm starting to have a little bit more of a short fuse, especially at work. Especially there's one person who wanted more chicken, and she didn't want to pay more, and she said it wasn't like this. I'm not paying $9 for rice and beans. Well, you are paying $9 for a service, and I might have been rude to that person, and she kind of complained to the cashier about that. And like after work while I was eating, she was coming to me and saying, you know, some people have been saying you've been rude. And I love how she said some people when it was really just one person, because before that I had no problem with any other customer. As a matter of fact, most customers are a lot more friendly than I thought. They're like, hey man, just hook me up and thank you, and there's like, please. It's like, I've never seen so much mannerisms in a fast food joint ever. So, wow, that really shocked me. So, yeah, that's a nice learning experience. And let's see. I also have a nice opportunity coming up. I don't want to say too many details on that, but if I do get accepted for that, I'll definitely tell you guys about it. It's definitely going to make me participate more within the transgender and gender non-conforming community. So far, I've been having a little trouble with my testosterone because people have been giving me the runaround, and I was supposed to get my needles delivered with my prescription, and it still hasn't arrived because it was a partial fill, yada yada, this whole bureaucracy. That is Callan Lord. It's a good place, don't get me wrong. I'd probably still be searching for hormones if it wasn't for them, but they really need to do something about communication and hopefully getting everything sorted and organized. Other than that, working out has been really nice. I mean, sometimes I just don't feel like it, but I've been definitely been getting better. For example, on the assisted pull-up machine, I went from using 125 assisted weight to around almost 95, although I can only do a max of 8 reps on 95 assisted weight. It's not much, but it's something. And also I went from like 15 to 30 pounds on the bicep curl, so that's pretty nice. And I'm talking about machines. I'm not really that confident to use in free weights. Like I said, I haven't worked out before T. Well, I did. It was like really all over the place kind of thing. My parents have been like taking to calling me by my new name, although behind my back they still tend to revert to calling me by my middle name, my original middle name. And my dad's been taking it upon himself to kind of pressure me to be a man. He's like, oh, why aren't you watching sports? What are you going to talk about with the guys? Are you going to sit there looking like a moron and all that kind of stuff? Things along those lines. And he basically took my lack of interest in sports and criticized it, and also likes to criticize my more of a positive interest in video games, because it says, oh my god, you gotta do guy stuff, I'm gonna teach you these things and all that, and he never does. And I'm just sitting there like, Dad, testosterone isn't gonna change my interests. Now that might happen for some people, but for me that's not really the case. I mean, I'm still the same person, although looking physically different. I also have a couple of projects like to help the community out. I don't want to say too much, but one of them is basically being a modern version of the Hudson's FTM guide. I just need help with some volunteers because I obviously can't do this alone. And I kind of want to do it on a United States, Canada scale before I move on to like other continents. That's just like a far away thing. So yeah, that's cool. I also have some other ideas, but I have to kind of like rein in the horses before I start like going off tangent. So the plans now is top surgery. I'm gonna be saving up for a consultation fee for Dr. Medali from Cleveland, Ohio. I have to send in the consultation fee and then hopefully send in the pictures of my, chesticles or whatever you may call it, what have you, and hopefully see like how much he's quoting me on that. Like I already have like the majority of the money through my European tour that was saved away back in 2011. My uncle said I can use that money, and I just need to get the remainder from funding or some sort of funding or anything. I'm not gonna ask you guys for money because I know money's tight everywhere in general. So I have that to look forward to. There's also some other things that I'm looking forward to, like meeting new people. I don't know, it's just like I never thought I'd be here like meeting new people and be ready to meet new people and just being confident in myself and just like posting like crazy on Facebook like, wow, these things happened today. And I'm also changing in the sense emotionally where I'm actually now more inclined to seek out people and tell them my day's shitty, this is what happened, before I used to kind of like keep it to myself. And somebody's calling me right now. 1 second. Okay, it was just a call from someone that I actually don't know, and I probably shouldn't pick up because for said reason, most of the people don't know I'm trans, at least from extended family, and that had like a Spanish last name in there, so I couldn't really pick that up because it might out my parents and me. Speaking of which, my birthday was last month, June 14th, so we had a cake, we had some fun, but one of the things I noticed that I didn't notice until my parents' birthday, which was like the end of June, like near Pride Month, near the date of New York City Pride, which I was able to go to. They never took pictures, and before I transitioned, they always begged me to take pictures, and I always groaned and basically hesitated and said, okay, fine. But this year they didn't take pictures, and when my brother and mother's birthday came around, which was June 25th and June 26th respectively, it's like back to back, they took pictures, and my brother was asking, yo, let's take a picture. It's like they kind of want to erase me from the memory. Like later on, they would rather not remember. So I kind of found that a bit offensive when I finally realized why that was. When I gave it a bit, like I put two and two together, I was just like, so they really don't want to remember this. And they don't, because they rather not. Like I can't even show up to my mom's job anymore because she doesn't want everybody finding out that she has a transgender son. Just like she doesn't want the rest of the extended family to know that their niece or granddaughter and whatever is now their nephew and grandson. My grandma would literally probably kneel over and die from a heart attack, and I don't want to be responsible for that. So yeah, I've been having those kind of feelings, and what really kind of put the nail in that emotional coffin was when I found out someone from my support group passed away, and I felt like really shitty about that. I didn't really talk about it until now because it happened last Friday and I just couldn't really process it. Well, I could, it's just I didn't really want to say anything and like do anything rash. Because I found out in an email while I was going for a photo shoot for an FTM project down in Brooklyn. I found out through the email, and I actually knew that person. He came in a few times. He was like clearly distraught, and concerning the circumstances for him were like pretty dire. And while they didn't really say, like, the father of the person like sent us an email saying that they passed away in his bed corner. He doesn't really remember because he had to like move quick to get everything sorted out. And he said like, I don't know if it was because of the body succumbed to the illness or it was suicide, but concerning the circumstances that they talked about previously before this happened, I would have to like bet my money on suicide because the person was like really all alone. Not a lot of people wanted to hang out with that person. At least that's what that person like felt, because when he tried to set something up with a group, we were all in like this email server thing. A lot of people couldn't make it or were sick or were busy, and I guess the person took that to mean that we didn't like him. Personally, me, I didn't really hang out in general, so it's not that I didn't like him, but he seemed a bit overbearing. But I still reach out for people if they needed help, and that person was like really kept quiet about it. And now that I realize it, I kind of feel like regretful. Oh god, here comes the waterworks. I kind of feel regretful that I didn't reach out as much as I could have to that person. Now I'm just sitting in this pool of what if I reached out, would this have happened? And what really knocked me for a loop was like the father was using the female pronouns and using their original name in quotes, and I just sat there like, oh my god, I want to shut this person. Because at least you would honor them in death and not just like add insult to their memory by using their names that they didn't want to be using. So I really identify with that, and I kind of cried for a while, and I kind of want to cry now. And I better stop talking about it before I do, because that's a state of vulnerability I don't want to really show to the internet. So anyways, I kind of ended this video on a dire note. But I will talk more about that in a new video about this suicide and how it's kind of impacting me and how it's kind of making me see things in a new perspective. So yeah, that's all that's happened this 9 months. I wish there was more I could say, but right now I'm kind of like a little despondent to talk more about my transition now that I talked about that. So I'll see you guys later, and I hope you have an awesome July, and I'll see you guys like next week. I promise I'll make a video this time. I promise. So, yeah. Peace.